Hello and welcome to this episode of EideCast. Is this thing on? I'm here with digital content specialist Mary Wiese. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I felt like I was just stuck like a robot there. I don't know why. So you are relatively new here.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start at Vern Eide?
April 3rd, so it's been just over a month.
Okay. What does a digital content specialist do?
So I go to the different stores and kind of communicate with the managers to see what they're wanting featured on social media. And then I go and take pictures and videos and share it, social media, Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
And then that's kind of it.
That's
Just kind of get
it?
the word out, keep day-to-day engagement going. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have to work a lot with the salespeople or with sales managers or?
Yeah, a lot with the sales people,
Okay.
which is fun. Sometimes can be a little challenging
Yeah.
getting them to participate, but
Right.
I try to make it painless and try and be encouraging, so that way they feel comfortable and want to work with me on
Right.
it.
So is that just like you have an idea for, is it sometimes where you have an idea for a post and then you just need to find someone to be in it? Or is it sometimes they come to you with like or is it both?
It's both. It's definitely both. I do a lot of scrolling and just kind of getting inspiration from what I find and seeing how I can either make it car related or just put a little fun spin on it.
Sure.
Or if they bring me an idea, then diving into the creativity and kind of making my own, but
Yeah,
filling what they want.
sure. So then it's all mainly Sioux Falls stores, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah.
We went to Sioux City too,
Okay.
so there's a little bit of that, but
Cool.
mostly Sioux Falls
Very
stores.
nice. How did you end up at Vern Eide?
So it was kind of a long road to get here.
Okay.
It was fast, but took a while at the same time.
Yep.
My husband works at the Honda store.
Okay.
And he knew that after I came off of maternity leave, I kind of just was toying with the idea of leaving my previous job. Just it was a lot of hours, and it was hard. Just having two people work really irregular schedules is really difficult with
Yeah.
kids. So he knew it was something I was kind of thinking about. We saw the position open. He sent it to me, encouraged me, said, "Hey, like I think you would enjoy this. I think you would do really well here." So I reached out to Maggie, kind of talked to her, and I wasn't sure on how I felt about it. I didn't know if I really wanted to leave my last job. I loved it a lot, and it was hard, but ultimately I looked at the big picture and I wasn't happy, and I felt like if I wasn't happy at home or if I was working and not happy, it was going home, and I needed change. So after talking back and forth with Maggie a couple of times, decided to make the move to come here. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So what would you say is your favorite part of your job?
Definitely working with everybody and meeting new faces. So far, everybody's been really friendly and willing to work with me. So it's just getting to explore my creativity, but then bringing forward and working with people.
Were you able to be creative at your previous job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my old job, I worked at a greenhouse. I worked at Oak Ridge Nursery, and I was able to work with the plants and pretty much was just told, do what you want to do.
Right.
If there was sales or something, they'd bring those forward. But
Sure.
there was a lot of creativity before.
Cool.
But I still get to tap into it now, so I'm
Yeah.
not too upset about it.
How long were you there before you came here?
I was there for 5 years.
Okay.
I left.
Was that your first? No.
No,
Was it-
I was a non-traditional student,
Okay.
actually. So I initially went to school for elementary education, and then I wanted to be a counselor.
Okay.
And then I took some time off. I switched my major a couple times, went to school for social work, and then decided didn't really want to do that. I'm kind of tender-hearted, so I knew it would be really hard for me to do that full time. Took some time off. I worked at a bank and a vet clinic, and I did love working at the vet clinic. But as I got further into it, I knew it wasn't going to be a long-term thing. So I decided to go back to school for horticulture.
Okay.
And then started my internship.
Wow.
And stayed.
Okay.
So it's
At Oak Ridge.
yeah. So
Okay.
I've had a couple full-time jobs, but
Sure.
this was the last one was like my
The
first
first,
kind of real
okay.
big girl job.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Southeast Tech for horticulture.
Okay. Got it. Is that where you went previously to? Or-
I went to Northern State University
Okay.
in Aberdeen.
Got it. Cool. So is that kind of the first time you tapped into being creative was at Oak Ridge? Or were you doing stuff creatively? Were you always into doing stuff Like
I've always
writing?
been pretty creative.
Sure.
I like to paint, and
Oh,
I
really?
like to do like pottery and stuff. I didn't really do much pottery outside of high school. I wish I
Sure.
would have
Yeah.
kind of stuck with it.
That'd be cool.
Painted a lot. I mean, even now I kind of randomly will
Okay.
paint. It's been a little while,
Sure.
but definitely enjoy that, and I just always am interested in art. And
That's cool.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I'm from Sioux Falls originally,
Oh, okay.
so I'm born and raised.
Yep. So where'd you go to high school?
I went to Lincoln High School.
Okay.
Graduated in 2013.
Got it. Having done digital content, is that what your role was at Oak Ridge too?
I
Somewhere?
was greenhouse manager, and then I also did like digital stuff and worked with like our outside marketing team,
Got it.
and then event planning, and that was most of it.
Would you rather shoot video with a human being or with a plant?
A plan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun interacting with people and like getting people to do things that
Yeah.
they're not comfortable with, and like really encouraging
Mm-hmm.
them that way. But like plants are so pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's
easier, too, a
fun,
little
and you
bit.
can show them in different ways and ways to
Yeah.
put them together. And so I love plants. I love the way that the sunlight makes them glow. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of iridescence to plants, and just it's so beautiful. So
Yeah.
I mean, I do love taking pictures and videos of plants.
Yeah.
But
That's cool. I just wasn't sure if like there's just less. It's easier to talk a plant into doing a video shoot than it probably is a person.
yeah, they don't tell me no. And if
Yeah, you're like-
if I'm like, oh, you're not doing this how I want you to, then
Yeah.
I can easily just move it.
Adjust it
Yeah.
yourself. Exactly. What's been the hardest part of your job since you've been here?
It's definitely a learning curve. I mean, cars are very shiny. There's a lot of reflections.
Yeah.
And just thinking of ways to do different things is kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
Again, where I kind of scroll through social media a lot, trying to get inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's been a big challenge. Also, having equipment mixed up where mics aren't connecting right. That's been a little bit challenge.
Sure.
Just because I didn't really do
you wouldn't need
videos
to
like
mic
that
up.
before.
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Exactly.
But it's been fun. I've learned a lot in the last
Couple months.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really enlightening.
Yeah. What would you say, like, how has it been?
It's been good. Everybody's been super nice. I've been asked a lot, like, how do you like it? Are you enjoying it here? Are you, how's the transition been? And it's been really hard. Like, I miss my old job a lot. I've been to the greenhouse 4 or 5 times in the last month.
Sure.
I have a new appreciation for it by going as a customer. But everybody's been so kind, and like mentally, I'm just doing a lot better.
Sure.
And so that's what I have to keep reminding myself. As much as I loved what I did, it just wasn't compatible for my family and
Sure.
for what I needed.
Right.
And I do like what I'm doing, and every day gets easier, and just everybody's been super
Yeah.
kind.
I think it is one of those things too that the more you do it, it's just reps. I think it's easier and easier and easier. So then hopefully it's like a little less. It still probably feels like a fire hose of information just getting shot at you. I'm like, whoa, something new every day, and maybe your computer isn't working, and you're calling IT all the time, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So having to deal with that. What do you have for family?
So obviously my husband, and then we have
Sure.
2 kids. I have my stepdaughter Sutton,
Okay.
and then Piper is my biological daughter.
Okay.
And then I have a sister
Okay.
who lives in town,
Okay.
and then my parents live in town as
That's
well.
awesome.
So yeah, we're all kind of within 5 minutes of each
Sure.
other. So we spend a lot of time.
So make it
together.
easier then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
When
sure.
we were buying a house, we started kind of looking on the west side of town.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex pointed out, he's like, we are always with your family.
Yeah.
There's literally no need for us to buy a house on this side of town.
Yeah.
We're going to be driving across town all the
Yeah,
time. So
that's true.
yeah, it's
So
nice.
you live on the east side then?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to tell us the address because we don't need to go find it or anything
Not
like
dox
that.
myself.
Yeah, exactly. So what? How old are your kids?
Sutton is 8.5.
Okay.
And then Piper is like 20 months.
20 months. Okay. How's that going?
It's fun.
Yeah.
She is in the stage where no is her favorite word.
Okay.
She'll be like shoveling in food, and then I'll say, "Is it good?" And she'll no.
Oh,
I'm like, okay.
you keep eating it
So,
though.
yeah, you clearly
is
like
something.
this.
Do you know what no means?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she
No.
just thinks it's a
like
fun
it's
word.
a fun word to say.
Yeah,
That's
but-
awesome.
Yeah, she's a handful. She is
Yeah.
a stinker, but she's so funny and sweet.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Sutton is becoming very independent.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to watch her grow. And she says some of the funniest things.
Yeah.
I always swore like 8 years old was kind of like the worst age.
Oh yeah.
And then as I've watched it, I'm like, no, she's so fun and just it's great.
That's cool. That's a lot of fun. 8. I'm trying to think. Oof, I don't even know what I was.
Is your son 8?
My son is 9.
9. Okay.
Yeah, he's getting a little more like, he won't say mommy and daddy anymore. It's just like mom and dad.
Oh yeah.
And then like my wife works at the same school he goes to, and then he doesn't want any part of that. Like it's embarrassing to him, and it's like, buddy, come on,
it's too cool for her. Like, my mom doesn't work here. I don't know
already at like 3rd grade. I just felt like it was soon. She was not ready for that, so that was an adjustment for us. What's your why? What kind of drives you every day?
Definitely my family. Alex works very hard, and I'd like to work as hard as him. And just personal. Like I always want to be the best person I can be. I'm always pushing myself to be better. Whether that's a better partner, better mom, a better employee. I always want to be better. It's not always easy for me to accept any changes that I need to make, but just personal growth too.
Yeah. How do what are some things, like, do you take classes or you read a lot, or is anything that you work on personal growth wise? Listen to podcasts or anything?
I listen to a lot of podcasts. Honestly, I don't listen to as many as I should about like
I get it.
Learning and stuff.
Yeah.
I like to read though. I'm always curious about everything. So sometimes it's just general knowledge and just what is this, or why did this start? I mean, even talking about pirates, why do they wear eye patches?
Exactly. Some people say stuff that they might not actually be factually correct, so you don't want to double check that.
Fact check it.
Yeah, because there are some coworkers of mine that would say things that may not be true. So
you never know. I'm pretty gullible, so I gotta
really gotta check
it out.
You gotta make sure you check.
And then once I start reading about that, then I want to read about everything about it. So I'm always
deep dives.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm always like fixated on something
enough to be like to get by, like not an expert, but can have in conversation be like, well, that's a nice little nugget I can throw out, and people will be like, wow,
yeah,
she must be well read.
A little something about everything.
This is really smart. This is what I do, just being really smart. What's something people may not know about you?
Okay, this one, it's hard because I'm very open about everything I do.
Sure.
I think I was talking with Alex about this one too, and I mentioned that my piano teacher was blind and he had no idea.
Oh wow!
So I felt like that was
that's a. So do you still take piano?
No,
or this is what, okay.
I took piano 1 year.
For
I wanted
1
to play
year.
drums.
Okay.
And so I think back then
you have to, yeah.
You had to.
I get that.
But then I never got to play drums.
So it's kind of.
So I mean, it was good. It was definitely a good skill to kind of learn. I'm actually very proficient on like the children's pianos.
Okay.
You hit me with those and tell me a song, I can play it.
You can get it.
But like actual piano, no.
No.
But yeah, she was blind, so I thought that was kind of.
That's interesting. Did it make was it harder? I mean, she obviously would pick songs she knew, I would assume.
She had a book that was Braille,
okay.
and so she would follow along, and so she could tell like the notes that it was playing. She would hear it, and she knew it was right or wrong.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was super cool. She played at our church growing up. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is something I'm sure not a lot of people would know. That's definitely something there. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
I like to do everything.
Okay.
I play softball.
Okay.
And I like to go to like aerial classes. I don't do that as much now, but I'd like to get more into it. I like to teach Zumba and yoga. Wow. And I like to go to the lake. I like to be busy.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit still really.
Yeah. Okay, so would you say you're a book person, a music person, or a movies person?
I am a music person.
Music person, okay. So what are your top 3 like genres or artists of all time?
I'd say genres. I like kind of folky, alternative.
Okay.
I do teach Zumba and fitness classes though, so I do like
is it a lot of talking about
pop music and stuff.
Oh, is it pop? I don't even know. I've never.
I mean, Zumba music is okay, so like for
like
years
a rave or not a rave?
No, it's a lot of like Latin dancing and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So for years, my like number 1 Spotify artist was Pitbull.
Okay.
I would not say that I'm Pitbull's number 1 fan, but
like
I was in the top 1%.
You were in the top 1% of Pitbull fans. You're wrapped.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So technically, Pitbull is one of my favorites. I would not casually listen to him,
sure,
but
it's just because of the other part of it.
Yeah.
And then, that's crazy. I've never been to a Zumba class. Is that something that I should do?
Do it. I always tell people if you do a Zumba class, you have to do it 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
The first time you go, you walk in and you're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And especially because you have like the diehards who go every week.
Right.
They're in the front row. They're half the time I watch them to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So then people watch them and they get overwhelmed because they're like, well, I should know what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
it's
And it's like,
overwhelming.
no. They've been coming to this class longer than I've been teaching it. So 2 to 3 times, because the second time it's like, okay, I
Kinda
kind
get
of
a
remember
feel.
this. And then the third time is when you start having fun. I tell people if it's the third time and you still hate it, it's not for you.
It's not for you.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
it was a fun way to get into cardio.
Yeah.
Because I
would
hate
think
running.
It's different. Yeah. Running is not that fun.
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
Not a lot of people's cup of tea. You are not unique in that one. So did we land on? We had the 3 genres we said were folk, alternative, and then Zumba.
I'll say
type
pop,
of
I'll say
music.
pop because
Like pop, Zumba-y.
yeah,
A little flair, a
Upbeat.
little
I
salsa.
like a little spice in it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like
pizzazz.
there's a little bit, not too much.
Not
though.
too much, just a little bit.
Just enough. Let's see. Is there anything else that I forgot or you want to share?
Think so.
No? You feel good?
I feel good.
I feel good.
I feel good.
If you feel good, I feel good.
Good.
All right. Well, Mary, thank you for stopping by. We're gonna awkwardly get through this. Thank you for being here and telling us more about your life and learning more about you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for stopping by to this episode of EideCast. Is this thing on? We will see you next time.